All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Monday, fifth week, and we have an exam on Wednesday. So that exam will be open from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and I need to know if that's a problem for anybody. So you have to reach out to me and communicate if you need some other timing on Wednesday. Welcome back. Nearing the halfway point. Y'all did really good. I looked over everything from the last week and a half. I think I was a little late on week 3 stuff, but tough stuff. Like putting these together in your head is not easy to do. A few of you asked how relevant this was, I think is basically what you're asking. And do I do sketching in the workplace? First of all, I'll just give you a brief summary of what I've done. Out of college, I was hired by Peter Kiewit and Sons, which is a large contractor, huge contractor, worldwide. Our service areas were California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Alaska, and Hawaii. So we had an enormous amount of projects. Going strong 24/7, 365 days a year. That's what the construction industry is. We did big projects like Bonneville Locks, the pipeline up in Alaska, lots of highway bridges in Hawaii, lots of highway underpasses, and dirt moving work in Seattle. And what I was a mechanical engineer for them and their heavy equipment. So I did design and redesign of heavy equipment. Now, sketching, when did that play in? All the time. We would sit down as a team and we would talk about the piece of equipment we want to modify or the piece of equipment we want to build. And it would always start with a sketch. And it was me sketching because I was the engineer in the team. So I did that a lot all the way through. So existing drawings, when you want to modify something that exists already, you sketch right on the drawing. Now, does it go to CAD quick? It does go to CAD quick. But to read a CAD drawing, you have to know how to make a CAD drawing to standards, not just anyway, to standards that we all understand. So one of the best ways to learn how to draw is to do it by hand because it slows you down and you don't have to worry about learning a software. So I have a couple motivations here. You'll do a lot of sketching through your schooling, so this is good practice for that. Like when you do statics and strengths and fluids and the rest of these complicated courses that have homework, we require you to create a drawing because we're trying to solve something that is physical. You don't want to have to go to CAD to do that. You just want to be able to sketch it, right? So the skill set is incredibly valuable. I think it's a little bit of a lost form. There are engineers that graduate with 4-year degrees that can't do it. And let me tell you, it's not pretty when they can't do it because people expect you to be able to do it. All right, I want to briefly go through some of the assignments you had and just kind of reiterate what I've already talked about, but apply it to stuff that you've already done so that you're intimate with. I went through everything and graded it, and many of you I said, look at the solution. So let me just remind, this time I actually put the solution on the home page because I want you to go to it easily. But normally it'll be attached to the assignment, and you got to go in the past weeks and look for it. But I'm going to minimize this real quick and just kind of show you where it's at. Okay, so here we are, and we're in student view, and this is now our home page. So this is the Monday lecture. You got no homework for Wednesday because we have an exam, no discussion board. But I put these solutions up. So here's the quiz 2 solution. Here's what you were given, and you had to make this. And I use some of your assignments. I have to modify some of them to make them correct. So, but that's okay. That's kind of fun too. And here is number 19 solution. So you went from here to this 3 view. Here you can see I had to do some modifying. But I like to use your work because it allows you to see each other's work, which some of you are going in and looking at each other's. I encourage that. Like, there's some beautiful work being done, guys and gals, and you all should take a look at it because it's fairly impressive. But I do have to go in now and then and correct a few things. But I'm going to go over these. But you can see them all here on the home page. Okay? All right. So back to me. I just want to go through them and have that be your exam prep because you're going to actually have to do some stuff like this. But it will go all the way back to the beginning. So you need to look over what we did from week 1. It's all in that past material folder on the home page. So please do that. I want everyone to be getting 100%. And also your grade to date is current. So you could be looking at that. All right, let's look at, I think this is quiz 2. Oh, geez. Let me just verify that. Yeah, pretty sure this is quiz 2. All right, I'm going to close me down. And that gives me a bigger screen here to work with. I got some lighting going on, but I think I can get it all on screen. Yep. All right. So here's the strategy, guys and gals. Here's the strategy with making your 3 views. First of all, it's going to be point loss if you don't label your views, okay? And especially if your views aren't in the right position. Front view here, top view here, right side view here. And we as a group have decided when giving a isometric sketch, that is the front view, okay? So clearly this view with this kind of funny looking L shape is going to be here. And that's how you want to go about this, people, is you want to go, okay, the front view is going to be like a big L shape. That's the basic shape of this front view, right? So you want to get that in first. And then you want to pick through it and say, okay, what is visible? What can I see? I can definitely see the circle from the front view. And remember, I'm just focused on the front view, one view at a time. Don't try to do front, top, side all at the same time. Just do one view. I see a complete rectangle, so I should see a complete rectangle right here, okay? This view, I can't see this surface. It's essentially this edge, right? Because when I look at a front view, it's a perfect front view. Like I'm not a little elevated, I'm not a little off to one side. It is crazy perfect, okay? So this surface here, you cannot see. It's this edge. But this surface, this funny looking L shape with a hole in it, I can see that whole thing. So that's all visible lines. Okay? And I can see the hole. That's visible. That is everything that's visible. Now I need to think about what's not visible. What can I not see? And what is that geometry? Again, I am just working with this front view. And in the front view, you can actually get a lot out of it, right? I can, just looking at this front view, I can pull a lot of information. Here, I don't know if I can do this. Yeah, kind of. Not really. That's not working. But I'm completely focused on this. Now, there is some hidden geometry. What is that hidden geometry? There's a surface back here that I cannot see from the front view, and it's this hidden line. It goes from here to here. So that's the other thing you want to think about is the geometries go from a certain location here to here, right? So this shelf, this surface I cannot see is right here, and then this notch I cannot see, which appears to just go through the thickness of this top part, right to there. That's perfect. Okay, absolutely perfect. All right, let's look at the top view. Now, I have some little squares in here, but that's because I had to erase out some stuff, so you got to ignore those. They're little tiny square things. Sorry about that. Showed up when I printed. But the point is, let's talk about that hole right away, because most of you are seeing a hole here and go, oh, I know this hole goes through to top view. I know it starts back here, so it does not start at the front of the object, right? It doesn't start here. It starts back here. This is perfect. And it goes to where? It goes through and stops here. It's not up here, it's down in this lower surface region. So the hidden line should come and stop at this back edge. So several of you missed that. That's the lines I had to erase out of this one. Everyone see that? And it's tricky to see it, so you really got to fight with it to see it. But from the top view, we do see this visible horseshoe, see a long rectangle, and a littler rectangle. So that's perfect. It's very, very good. The hole, though, only goes through this region right here. All right. Right side view, I think, is quite good. From the right, we see this lower L shape right here. And there is a visible edge right there. And then we see this upper L shape right here. So the visible lines are really good. This surface, if you drew it where it's in line with the hole, then that visible line overpowers the hidden from the hole. So the hole makes two hidden lines here and here. The center line denotes that. Bring that center line out past. And it's just a single dash for a center line. It's like that. But there is a hidden line behind this, but the visible edge overpowers it. Okay? And then this is the upper hidden line for that hole. Not for this geometry, because this geometry we can actually see right here. Right? And then what's this? That's this slot here. Because remember, the right side view looks this way on the top. And this would be hidden. And we can see that here. This, wouldn't see it from the right side view, so that's that. All right. Excelente. Hopefully that helps. Struggle with it. It's important. I'm going to do one more. That appears to be the same one. We'll do a couple more. Oh, this guy. This guy? Is this what I wanted to do? Dun, dun, dun. I think so. Yeah, that's the guy. All right, let's do this one, number 11. Again, 11, you're going from a 3D to a 2D. Okay? Well done here. Now remember, when we're sketching, we can get our geometries slightly off. That's acceptable. Sorry, I gotta swallow. And I chose this one to show you because the geometries, they're just slightly off. And it's because this angle is how you put this angle, right? But notice that the top view, right, from the top, we don't see this slot that goes all the way through. So clearly this is going to be a hidden line here and here. So that's good. Now, this height appears to be the same height as this height. So whoever did this, it's a fantastic job in realizing that, hey, this slot goes to here, but then it kind of airs out. And this upper surface is the same. Okay? So that's why it came across and it's gone here. Like it's just blending to that bottom surface right here. See how it comes across and nails it and then airs out. This is really good. Now, this edge right here from the top is visible. Now, if your geometries, come on, focus, there you go. If your geometry was back in here and this edge ended up on top of this one, then this hidden line disappears and it just becomes this visible. Okay, but I like this one because it shows both his geometry or her geometry just got slightly off and ended up to be not in the same spot, which it might be true, although it looks like maybe it's supposed to be in the same spot. And if it was, if this was in the same spot as this, then this visible line wins and it would be right on top of here. That's the kind of thing that you really have to work with your sketch. And that's why this is not wrong, because the sketch is great and the two geometries show up. Okay? This kind of thing I wouldn't do. It just becomes complicated. And I get that there's crazy hidden lines in here, but I just wouldn't put the center lines in. It's just, it's a mess. This is what we will look at to figure out the holes. All right, right side view. Right side view is good here, except from the right side, from the right side view, yeah, we have a lot of things going on. So there is this, appears to be this rectangle that's here, right? And then we have this clean horseshoe. This is a line that got missed in this one. So here's from the right side view, looking at the front view, right? From the right side view, we would definitely see that. So this should go in right here. All right, I think I missed that also on the solution on the home page, so hopefully you watch this video to see that. Then you have this big slope surface right here, all the way to the top. That's perfect. Then a bunch of hidden lines for the holes, yep. And then this shoulder goes all the way through, hidden line all the way across, fantastic. Just missed this visible edge here from the right side view. Hey, I get it that these become super complicated. I really, really do get it. But it's good to stretch your brain in this area. We want to become very good at this. All right. Oh, this is a great line, by the way, this line here. Right, that's this thing coming up here. Yep, clearly see it. From the front view, yep. There's just a line. This surface stays the same. Very good. All right. And then the last thing we did, we went from 2D to 3D, and these were puzzles, weren't they? Let's look at number 3 here. First of all, the first thing I think you said you should do is think about projections, like this projects across, that's good. This projects across, that's good. This projects across, that's good. Let's look at the upward projections. This makes that, that's good. Uh-oh, this, it has to make something up here. What would it make? Gotta make something. This one is this top thing, so this one, it's gotta be here somewhere, something, right? And it looks like from the right side view, maybe we're missing something here too, right? Because it looks like, oh, geez, yeah, these come across further. So you had to start putting in some of these and figuring this out. Oops, sorry about that. And it's hard to do. Let me tell you, it's super hard to do. So looks like we end up with a large, medium, and small rectangle, large, medium, and small rectangle. And again, hopefully they started with the big rectangle that contained everything, right? And then a process of, hey, it's got to be this way if I see this from the front, and it's got to be this. The right side view is a really big clue with this air gap all the way through, that air gap. Very big clue. Those are the things you want to look for, and you want to sketch them in. Okay? All right, so that was a tricky one. Very tricky. This guy was pretty tricky. So again, you have to think about like, oh, what's not being projected and what is being projected. So it looks like everything's being projected vertically okay, like that goes up, that goes to something, that goes to something. But when I project to the right side view from the front, yeah, bottom's good. Copier did some weirdness. This geometry looks like it comes across. What about this geometry? What? It's nothing. It's like it's got to be here somewhere. And I see this back here, so I'm thinking, oh, it's got to be like in here somewhere. I don't know. And then you start to try and create, like, what is that? So I stopped it here because it looks like, oh, something's going on there. And you can actually see it. But from the right side view, it looks like I have a large rectangle, a small rectangle, and then some kind of a large rectangle that comes a little bit down before it gets chopped off by this view. So very tough. This one looks like it must go all the way down to then create these three. Yep. And then the top, I think we got the top. All right, so then once you get that, I mean, again, the top view in this airspace right there, that's critical. So we get that space in. Again, start with a big rectangular block and then start to create these geometries. Like the front view, I know I got a rectangle here and I got another rectangle here. Boom. And that creates a rectangle here. From the front view, I can't tell that it's at a depth, but it gives me those geometries. And then the top says, oh, that middle part is back here a ways, back here. Once you did that with these two, then you could work with the right side view to figure it out. All right. This is the combination of these kind of drawings. Here's this one. I think everybody did well on this one. This was a little straightforward. It's good. Nothing wrong with that. But the combination of going from 3D to 2 and not missing anything, and from going 2D to 3, that is what your exam is going to be all about. Okay? So, you'll also have to do things like show me that you can letter. I'll say specifically letter. You will be sketching. No straight edges, don't do it. You just got to sketch, but you can use your scales, right? You can use your scales to lay out exact dimensions. There'll be some short answer questions. There'll be some maybe true and false questions. There'll be some calculate something questions, like the scales, for example. I think the last exercise I gave you some sizes, and the scales were like 1 to 4 and 1 to 6 to make them fit, something like that. So if you have any questions on that, that won't be a big part of the exam. I think we've only done one exercise. But you could have a number of different kinds of questions on Wednesday. Keep yourself 2 hours. It shouldn't take you, well, it might take you 2 because there is sketching, and some of us are very attention to detail, so we use it all. So, all right, if you have any questions before the exam, reach out to me and ask them. I can create more videos or do whatever you need. All right, have a good couple days and good luck on Wednesday.